I am a lover of Star Wars video games. Some of the best games in my opinion are Star Wars, especially Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and this game has made that list. After 2 playthroughs and lots of planet exploration, I am thrilled to discuss Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best games I have played in 2019, even though it suffers from some major technical difficulties. I don't want to say it, but I will. Congratulations, EA, you've done something to deserve my money. Battlefront 1 and 2 from EA were actually very good games at their core in my opinion. The gameplay and mechanics were pretty good, the graphics were great. Of course, they had problems of their own, but the monetization system completely ruined the games which were presented to us. Jedi Fallen Order, though, is a very different experience compared to the Battlefront titles. I am still waiting for the pay-to-win poncho, though. The game takes place after Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where you are taking on the role of a Padawan in hiding named Cal Kestis, who is portrayed by an amazing actor, Cameron Monaghan. He is also the Joker in Gotham. You are faced with traveling the galaxy to 5 different planets where you are looking to remember your past, but grow into a Jedi Knight. I really enjoyed that you traveled to such iconic planets such as Ilum and Kashyyyk, but lesser known ones such as Bogano, Zepho, and Dathomir. I have always loved Dathomir, and I am so glad that this planet was added into this game. The planets aren't very large, and I do wish there was more exploration on them, but it didn't feel like there was an overwhelming amount of space to explore, which is good in one way. As you move through the storyline, you must remember your teachings as a Padawan and relearn them, and that is something we see in so many games. They do not want to hand you every move at the start, so they have to figure out ways to incorporate new abilities that play into the story, and a storyline where you've forgotten everything seems to be the easiest way to do that. Though with this game, the past does play a part during the storyline with lots of flashbacks to a time when you were young and naive. So it's not completely out of place, and they did present the relearning of abilities in a good way. I just wish this part was a bit more innovative. I would have loved to see them explore other ways to combine the story with the abilities, though they played it safe, and I don't want to blame them for that. I just expected a little bit more from this game. A big disappointment for me comes with the title, Jedi Fallen Order, meaning you do not have the opportunity to be a Sith or even really acknowledge that the dark side exists, and that is a key piece of Star Wars games for me. I love being able to choose between what is right and wrong, making decisions that can come back to you later down the line that you could regret, and they did not introduce the dark side to Cal at all really, besides with Trilla. I thought that the interactions that Cal had with the dark side users such as Trilla and the Fallen Jedi Master towards the end were really good, though imagine the game from this perspective of a young Jedi who is suffering with darker thoughts. It would have made the dialogue so much more complex and would have been enjoyable. But for what the game is, I really enjoyed the storyline. Cal is such a role model Jedi. He wants to do good, and he allows everyone the chance at redemption. I do think a big part to play in this was the actor that they chose for him. I think Cameron Monaghan really knows how to portray this character well, and this is a great example of actors working their way into the gaming industry. We know Keanu Reeves will be featured in Cyberpunk 2077. We've seen so many actors in other games, and this really was a game where having an experienced actor paid off, since a lot of the game leans on his performance. I have to tell you though, after meeting Trilla and seeing what she has gone through, I think that was a missed opportunity. You've created such a conflicted and deep character that you've made me want to play as that character. I honestly want the game to be about her. The Jedi story was good, but that could have been so amazing. A big aspect of the game is obviously the combat, which was fantastically done when you weren't faced with technical difficulties. Unfortunately, there were a lot of problems where force abilities wouldn't activate properly, or even at times at all. When you tried to dash forward at times, it would glitch you through specific spots on the ground, which did cause problems during boss fights, and when you were swarmed with enemies, it was very unenjoyable when it happened, but when it didn't, the combat was great. You would have to be patient and planned when jumping into larger groups of enemies. Boss fights were very challenging towards the end of the game, and they all felt impactful. Like you could feel the enemies growing stronger, yet Cal was also growing stronger. Nothing stayed the same for too long. And the skill tree system was simple and easy to understand, which is always nice. I did also enjoy that they didn't force you to constantly upgrade your armor. All you really had to do was upgrade abilities and get cosmetic upgrades for your weapons and outfits, and also BD, the cutest droid alive. But there are no chests full of gear that you needed to run around collecting, so it was a very simple and clean system. I think this game is a fantastic Star Wars experience. You see a Jedi Padawan flourish into a strong and valiant knight while also trying to overcome parts of the past which he regrets, and you can feel how much the past affects him. The gameplay really sells the Jedi experience as well through the mix between Force abilities and the lightsaber combat, which was done very well. Overall, I really would recommend this title. This was one of the better games I've played through 2019, and I can definitely see myself replaying this multiple times when I want a linear but impactful game. I was worried, since this did have EA's name attached to it, that it could be a failure, seeing as what EA has done to the previous Star Wars games they've been a part of, but I thought this title was amazing. So if you enjoyed this video and this review, please make sure to give it a like, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not already, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.